Hello, and welcome to another episode of Chit Chat and All That with me, Amanda Prowse.
And me, Penny Dommett.
You caught my highness.
Well, I just thought we'd swap.
Not my highness, as in your royal highness, my high-pitched note.
Yes. But it's nice, it's jolly. We want people to think that we're having a jolly half hour.
We are. We're having a mad half hour, aren't we, Pen?
Well,
Aren't we, Pen?
we're trying to have a jolly half hour, but both of us have had one of those weeks.
We're a bit pulled thin, aren't we, darling?
Yes, just slightly.
Anyway,
Just
we shall
slightly.
come back to that. Thank you so much, as we say, for joining us for another episode. We love your company.
Oh, we really do. We really do. And I need more messages. Come on, folks. Send in some messages. It really cheers me up.
Does
and
it?
It's been one of those weeks. And I thought, oh, come on, let's have some nice messages with these lovely people round our table.
It's an island. We've had to cover this already, Pen. We've moved from the table to the island. If we take another shift to the right, we're going to be on the patio.
Oh, we could be in the garden.
Side patio.
Yes, that would be good.
We had a side patio put down because we thought, oh, open the back door, sit on the patio. I've never set foot
I
on
was
it.
just about to say, I don't think I've ever seen those doors open. I've never seen you sitting on the patio. To be frank, I don't see you sitting down very often anyway.
No, and if I do, I've got my fingers on a keyboard and my eyes glued to a screen.
This is another reason why doing this podcast and even listening to this podcast is such a good thing to do, because it gives you half an hour of just listening to chatter.
Little break from reality.
Yeah.
Isn't
yeah,
it? With our
really
inane chitter-chatter.
I mean, it is inane.
It is inane, but that's what we want. We want inane. If you want, political insight or expertise on a medical nature, anything like that,
Yeah, or even an opinion.
we're not that.
Really. We do give opinions sometimes.
Can I just ask, are you doing ballet?
No. I like standing on one leg. It's called the tree.
I thought it was a flamingo pen.
No, it's the tree. If I was doing it correctly,
Yeah,
I would have my arms above my head. Like
that
this.
wouldn't be distracting at all.
No. I mean, you wouldn't. Does it look like? I don't think it looks like a tree, but it's called the tree.
As
Anyway,
I say, more like a flamingo.
stand-
Now you're on parade. Is that
at
it?
ease, soldier?
I should know.
Yeah.
You look like you're on parade.
At ease, because when I was an intern, I used to do tension.
Made up thing.
At ease.
Made up thing.
No, it's not.
It's
somebody
Penny.
messaged.
No.
Sorry, somebody messaged.
It was
and
you
looked it
with
up.
a new account, emailing yourself, going,
No.
I was an intern and I loved you in it. I love you, fellow intern.
It seems like a long time ago that I wore that awful green uniform.
I hate to break it to you, kid.
What?
It was a long time ago.
I know. I mean, it made me feel very old yesterday because I met up with my lovely great nephew.
Oh, that's
Charlie.
nice.
Yes. Charlie to me is always going to be 4 and asking Auntie Pen if he can have Smarties.
And of course he can.
Yes. And now he's like 6'3", looks like a rugby player and is off to university and drinking beer.
And
Last
eating
night.
Smarties of a different variety.
Well, don't
Not
let's
casting any
hope not.
aspersions. Sorry, Charlie.
Looking at me now.
His mother is going, Mandy, how dare you say that about myself? I'm sorry, I know, I don't know where that came from. That was just inappropriate.
You just think, where did that go?
Do you know, I just got to pick you up on something there. Do you know what really bugs me? You're always saying what bugs you. So I'm now going to say, this bugs me.
What about me?
No, nothing about you bugs me. Well, actually, that's not true. Your tardiness. Your bloody hour late Dommett, as someone said to me earlier. Do you work with Penny Dommett? And I went, I do, of the Dommett family.
The name comes from France, you know.
So maybe you are
Le
Dommett.
Dommett.
Oh, Le Dommett. Hello,
Yes.
Madame Le
Oh, there
Dommett.
is a village in Devon called Dommett.
There is. I've seen that.
Yeah, have you?
Yeah. Oh, it's got to be. Well, only on a sign, not like on a map.
Yeah.
Not like, I haven't been there.
Yeah.
Searching for Madame Le Dommett.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. Anyway,
My
carry
married
on.
name comes from France as well.
What price?
Yeah, it's a derivation of Proul. P-R-O-U-L-X.
Oh, no, it's poulet.
But no, that's P-R-O-U... P-R-O-U-L... I'm terrible at spelling. Thank God I don't have to write any words very often. Proul, as in Annie Proul, the author who wrote Brokeback Mountain.
Oh,
There's a little fact.
P-R-U-L-E.
No, that's Proul. We can't get bogged down on this. No, her surname, trust me, Piers Brosnan is Irish. Sweetmeats are not testicles, sweetbreads even.
T-shirts. Don't you think?
And I know you've got a 2-acre garden. Sweet Lord above.
Can we have a T-shirt, please, that says Piers Brosnan is Irish? Can you use somebody else? name.
We'd have to spell it wrong,
Is that-
which
is
wouldn't
that
be difficult.
Right. Pierce. We could have
Peace.
P-A-R.
Yeah, something.
S.
Pairs. We need to figure it out.
Piers Brosnan.
Maybe if he's listening, I've heard he's a fan. He could let us know whether it's okay to use his name on a T-shirt saying Piers Brosnan is Irish. Wouldn't it be funny if we found out he actually wasn't at this juncture, having spoken about it for over a year?
I don't think he is.
I know you
He
don't.
might be like 4th generation, but of course I'm 50% Scottish.
50% something, mate. He is so Irish. He looks Irish. He sounds Irish. He's got that.
He really doesn't sound Irish.
He's got that
I
bit-
watched the ABBA film. He did not sound Irish.
He was acting, Penny. He was acting. That's what they do. They trick you.
Okay. In the thingy, the Thomas.
Crown Affair, he
Yeah.
plays an American. He's not American though, is he, Penny? Again, it's just acting. Oh my word, you and I. I'm off.
She's leaving the room.
Yeah.
Are you going to leave me to talk to them all on my own?
I've got to have a moment. Anyway, where were we? Thank you for joining us.
You were about to tell me something.
Was I?
Yeah. You said something that really annoys me. Stop.
That was my knicker elastic. Literally, that was my knicker
Have you
elastic.
got your happy pants on?
I have actually today, Pen.
No, I think perhaps I've been lacking them this week.
Well, I was going to say, if you've got yours on, maybe it's time to change them, darling. Or hoik them up a bit. I don't know. I was going to tell you that, when you said, my nephew, 6'3", I can't bear it when people use someone's height as though it is a win when it's something you have absolutely no control over. I'm speaking for all the short asses out there, as I am one. Not suggesting you are, but obviously we are not. We are kind of vertically challenged. Is it vertical? Yes. Is that way? What's the other one?
Horizontal.
Well done.
Horizontal.
We're not. I have been for a while, actually, Pen. I've got to say.
Please stop hoiking up
No,
your underwear.
You don't understand.
It's because you've lost weight. Yeah.
My pants keep slipping down inside my jeans. You know when your sock goes down inside your
Yeah,
trainer?
really annoying.
Hell.
Yeah.
That's hell on earth. I think hell would be walking around with socks slipped down inside your trainers, someone squeaking polystyrene and pants that are too big. It's the worst things I can think of. And being made to eat an egg. It needs to be cooked. Oh, you can fry an egg down here. Aha. That is what we are feeding you in hell. You're going to eat eggs. No, please, give me a custard cream. Oh, dear Pem.
There's not many of those left on the table, is there?
Well, no, because someone's eaten them.
I know. Well,
Can
I've
just...
had a busy day, so I just...
That's
need
no
a bit of
excuse.
sugar.
So I said, would you like one of these, Pen? And I produced a mammoth packet of custard creams. Mammoth. And you went, oh, no, I won't have one of those. Actually, I'll have 2. And it was, you didn't even take a breath. Oh, okay, you'll have 2. To my knowledge, you've had 4.
I have.
You've doubled your quota. I have been counting, but you've had 4. I've also had 4, but I didn't claim I was going to have 2. So that's the difference, Pen.
Anyway, you were about to have.
I was about to say, when people go, yeah, oh, he's lovely, he's very tall, or oh, she's just gorgeous, she's very tall. And it's like, you can't control how tall you are. Your parents can by marrying someone with the correct gene pool that's going to make you taller. But if, like us, you are short, what are we going to do about it? I feel I'm negatively impacted and judged, whereas I have no control over it.
Hang on, just 1 second.
Yes.
Can you hear that across the floor? That's the soapbox I'm getting ready for you.
No, but don't people do it? They go, oh, he's so lovely. My son's wonderful. He's 6 foot. Blah. I said, well, yeah, that's great. But, what can we do about it?
Can I just say, when I mentioned that Charlie was tall, it was because I was trying to reference the fact that Charlie, to me, is still 4 years old.
Charlie the Smarty Muncher.
Asking for Smarties.
Which is what all his friends at university are going to call
I'm
him.
going to be teeny, and he was little, and he was so cute. And now he's grown up tall.
And I understood.
That's what I meant.
I understood the analogy,
If
and
he
I'm
was
here
still-
for it. I'm here for it. But all I was saying was, on the back of that, when people go, oh, you should have seen my Martin. He's 6 foot 4. And I think, well, great. Is he nice? Can he wash up a pan decently? Does he make a decent frappuccino when you need it in the summer? There are other skills I'm interested in.
Why did you choose a frappuccino?
Because that's where my mind went. I could always sink a frappuccino. I don't eat them because they are...
They're too sweet.
Yeah, but you just have half, don't you? Give the rest to your husband.
Yeah,
Not that you've got a husband.
It's still sweet.
Sorry, Pen, I forgot. You're living over the brush, as they say. Was it over the brush? What do you call it? Is it over the brush, under the broom? Something like that.
Never heard that phrase before.
When you are not married.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I
My
know.
nan would
It's
know.
a bit- it's a bit
My nan
crazy.
knew all of those
Well,
phrases.
it's a bit crazy because after 31 years,
We're 106 and 107. Still never been kissed.
to be introduced as my girlfriend.
I quite like it.
No.
Simeon still says you're my girlfriend, and I go, good. I like it.
Oh, yeah.
Although, as
Anyway,
I
let's
say,
change
we
the
are a bit
subject.
horizontally challenged at the moment.
Sorry.
Maybe because we're in different cities. That will be rectified very, very soon. So yeah, that was my only moan. But apart from that, Pen, all good.
Yeah, it's just been one of those weeks.
It has. I had an interesting conversation this week, though, with someone, which I do want to share.
Oh,
and
share away.
I'm interested in your views on this. So, I happened to mention to someone that when I put my bra on, she's choking on her builders. Which is a cup of tea. It's a cup of tea.
Excuse me.
I need to just clarify.
You're casting aspersions there.
When I say she's choking on her builders, it's a cup of tea. Penny, she's choking on her tea.
Hang on. That could be misconstrued.
I'm so sorry. What was in those custard creams? Let's have another one. It's doing the trick.
Put in the builders.
Whatever it is, it's doing the trick. So,
Anyway.
so I put my bra on, back to front, hook in, twist round,
Yeah.
lift up, secure the melones, put your arms in, done. Okay? And she looked at me and she went, what do you mean? You go back to front,
Hang
hook
on,
it.
just a second. Who are you talking to now?
A younger female.
Oh, yeah, but who?
I can't remember what to say.
Somebody at the school gate or
No,
something.
it was a relative, but I'm not prepared to disclose who, because she might not
That's
want,
okay.
she might not want how she wears her bra to be broadcast in public, unlike my good self, who doesn't care. So she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "You know, the back to front, the hook in, the turn around." That she said, "I just slip my arms in, put my arms behind my back, hook it up, and I'm done. It takes a
No,
second."
I do it slightly differently to that.
So stop. How do you do it?
I
She's doing the demo. She's doing the demo.
I have it the right way round,
You do.
and I do the hooks up at the back,
Yeah.
and then I put my arms in.
But Penny, what is the point?
I don't like shuffling it round.
Yeah, but-
it hurts.
No, but can I just... okay, so I'm completely mystified. So what I have a problem with is my rotor cuff dexterity to be able to hook it behind.
Yeah, when I had frozen shoulder, it was really difficult.
So what's the point of doing it that way round and then pulling... You may as well be the wrong way round to make it easier.
Yeah.
Because the only step you've cut, the hardest thing is doing it behind your back.
Yeah.
So doing it the wrong way round is supposed to save you
How
that.
on earth could you put your arms in first and then do it up? I mean, you couldn't, because
Lots of people do. Do you think it depends on the size of your chest?
probably.
See, this is why I think you could do it in any way. Back to fried eggs.
She's so rude. I didn't get my share.
No, like height. We didn't get that either, but we've already covered that. But yeah, isn't that bizarre how you just do things all your life in one way?
Automatically.
So there's a podcast out there, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's called Never Ever Have I. It's Joel Dommett and Hannah
Hannah
Cooper Dommett,
Yeah.
double-barrelled. She's fancy.
Yeah, fancy.
She is fancy.
Yeah. She's very tall.
She is, see?
Yeah.
She can't help it.
She'd still
It's
be
a,
gorgeous
she
if
would.
she was short.
If she was mini, if there was a mini Hannah, she'd be like a mini milk pop. You know those little ones you get, just as good,
Yeah.
but you want two of them. Yeah, no, she is stunningly tall. It's her legs, isn't it? Well, I guess it always is. When it comes to height, no one ever has like a really, really long body and little tiny legs. Penny, I'm going to wet myself.
Basically, if she had really short legs and a very long body.
Do you think Joel would still have found her attractive?
Oh, dear.
We're going to get
It
arrested.
started so
Oh,
early.
I'm so sorry.
It started so
I'm
early.
laughing so much, I'm making myself sweat. You know when you're like that? You
Yeah, but also, you always stand me next to the blooming heater.
always say you're cold.
Well,
That's why.
not today.
No, clearly. Maybe we can open those doors we never ever open and you can take your...
But they're not real.
This is
Don't
the
be
first
silly.
step for mankind on the patio. That was fake, wasn't it? The moon landing. Anyway.
Oh, Oh, don't start me.
Yeah, I don't buy it, Pen. I'm sorry.
No. I just read Orbital. Believe you me, they went out there. That was the only thing I realised, unless the book's fake.
Oh, no, I don't
think
think
you
it's...
made it up, did you?
I don't know.
Do people do that?
They
make up
do.
things?
I make a good living at that.
Yeah.
Anywho, so where were we? We were talking about height. Then we moved on to something else, and it was
Hannah,
bras.
tell me
Hannah.
about it.
So Hannah and Joel did an episode a little while ago. I find their podcast brilliant for people that like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
For people that want something structured and slightly sensible. But I do really, really like listening to them. And there was one episode where Hannah mentioned that she saw Joel, or Joel, when Joel wipes his bum, he does it. Hannah stands up to wipe her bum, does it sitting down.
That's weird.
And we were talking about those things that you are trained as a child and you just do it automatically because that's how you've been taught to do it. And it's only when you see someone else doing it, you think, that's very
Why
odd.
would you see someone else doing it?
Well, you and Rob, I know he shares your bath water.
Yeah, but I know, but I would never stand there and go, I'm just doing a survey. I'd like to
You like surveys. You told us that 3 weeks ago. You said, I love a survey.
Yes, but I mean, I wouldn't want to be, carrying it out in the bathroom.
No, that would be bad for everyone. You guilted me into doing a survey because you said,
Yes.
I quite like doing the old surveys. I think they're quite interesting. I got sent one through from a store that shall remain nameless, but rhymes with Mum Elm. And they said, would you like to do a survey about the rug you just bought? So I thought, yeah, why not? Penny does a survey. I'm going to have a go at a survey, do my citizenly thing.
Yes.
Half an hour later.
Why did it take you so long?
Oh, I don't know, and I'm a good typer. I mean, I'm good, I'm fast.
You didn't have to do a sort of 3-page summary of your rug, did
They
you?
asked me to describe it. That's where it's just like literally 20,000 words later. They're like, bloody hell, what's she doing? Writing a book? Here's a book about the rug I bought.
The little green rug.
But it was hilarious. It was like, could you describe how you felt when you walked in the store? Could you describe it? I'm like, gosh, really?
Well,
That's why I don't do them.
yes. But I managed to make sure that I get asked to do surveys fairly regularly
By doing them.
by becoming a member, I don't know that we've ever discussed this, of the UK Biobank.
What?
Do you not know about the UK Biobank?
No.
It's very interesting.
What is it
It's a
now?
very interesting thing. I'm not sure how many years ago it was, but there was a lot of press stuff about it, how they were going to create and collate lots and lots of data that they were going to keep and keep asking the same people
Oh,
questions.
I think my dad does it.
That they would then use for
Is it medical? Yes.
science.
Right.
So that people could access them to use for different, trials and tests and things.
Amazing.
So they must have done it in postcodes because the place that they asked me to go to, went into Bristol, and sitting in the waiting room was half of Rockhampton.
And all my family.
Yeah. So they must have done it by postcode.
Yeah.
And obviously some people said no.
Yeah.
I mean, but
People
it
like
was-
me.
It was all supposed to be completely confidential. Your name is never used in anything. It's just a number.
Madame Dommett is never mentioned.
Yes. And I found it fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So it was all very base foundation stuff. They take your blood pressure and family history. So interesting. Yes, no, tick, tick, tick. All sorts of things. What do you remember? And did you ever do this? And
What do you remember? Not much.
No. But then every so often they'll send me another questionnaire. So it'll be, this week we're doing food. Tell us exactly what you had for breakfast yesterday.
4 custard creams.
Yeah, well, if it had been today, I would have had to have admitted to the 4 custard creams.
Well, let's hope it's not them, Pen.
And I just find it fascinating.
Yeah, it is. So do you ever get insight into your history? Will they ever say, oh, I see. It's
Because it is literally so confidential.
anonymised, probably.
I slightly feel, what if they did a blood test and then they obviously test it and there was something wrong? Does that ever go back to your GP? So the GP rings you and goes, oh, by the way, we just noticed you've got, diabetes or something.
Well, the little bit I know about medical trials and medical harvesting of data is that they very likely only have a number for you. So you won't be a name or
No.
date of birth or
No,
anything. It will
that's
just be
true.
literally, you'll be
Yeah.
134798-76.
And because it's a number, I wouldn't know my name anyway.
Exactly. So, it's that kind of thing, because I think it has to be, doesn't
I
it?
don't think that'd be really useful. In
Oh.
like 50 years' time, they can look back and say this particular section of society
Yeah.
ate too much processed food, and look at them, they all got this.
Well, the power of data, it absolutely blows my mind. And I know that we get a lot of now, because obviously we are really in the infancy of data collection and data analysis, aren't we? I'd say it's only been proper, true data mining probably for the last 20, 25 years. So we're really in the infancy of all that. The stuff we're now getting through, the really valuable good stuff built up over that sort of history of time is amazing. You can look at life expectancies in great detail in not only cities, but villages, towns and streets.
Yeah.
And the disparity between rich and poor is still absolutely unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
That we're living in this day and age when you can have 5 or 6 years lopped off your life because just of the bad luck or luck of where you were born.
Yeah.
It's not good enough, is it?
No. It's I do think that it will be so useful in the future. It's just a shame that it's unable to be useful now. I think things like vaping, for example, it's been an answer to some people who have had difficulty giving up smoking.
Yeah.
But there's a big part of me that thinks, do we really know what it does?
We do, and we know it's bad.
Do we?
Yeah, it's really bad.
And kids, so many kids are doing
This is the thing, that's who it's aimed at, isn't it? With their flavours. It's like a bubblegum flavour and a cherry and a vanilla. That's not appealing to Gary the plumber. That's appealing to, Phoebe who saved up her pocket money. It's just not on.
No.
I think it's awful. But, what's it going to be? There's always something, isn't there?
True.
And it's got to be better than the widespread smoking that we grew up with, which was everywhere.
Yeah.
We've already discussed it, haven't we? But
Yeah.
it was absolutely everywhere. But I don't know, I just feel there's a lot of very, very unhappy teenagers. And so if they found something that makes them belong, if they found something that makes them feel part of a gang, makes them feel part of a crew, makes them feel more mature or experimental, they all do that stuff. But something that someone will know what damage it does. And that's what bothers me. There will be data, there will be tests that show that it burns a hole in your lung or whatever. I'm making that up. But, that data is already out there and it's suppressed because they're making so much money out of it.
But
I hate it.
But I think the other thing is we are in such a different society now that the everybody's idea of not perfection, that's the wrong word, idea of how people should be is so very different. Have you watched the Stephen Graham Netflix series Adolescence?
Do you know, I haven't for a reason, because everybody I'm speaking to, my parents, my brother, everyone is saying, "Oh my gosh, you have to see it," and I want to watch it with Simeon. So we've literally booked some time to watch it together. Next week we're going to sit down and binge watch the lot.
Seriously,
You've seen it, have you, Pam?
We did exactly that. We looked through Netflix and.
Had you heard of it though?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it came, and I went, I don't want to watch that now. It's going to be heavy.
Yeah.
I don't really want to watch that now. And he said, well, let's just give it 10 minutes. You do this 10-minute.
That's right, yeah.
Started watching it, could not stop.
Wow.
Couldn't stop. He is incredible in it.
Is this the lad who's
Stephen Graham.
Stephen Graham, sorry.
Fantastic. All of them are. I don't think there was one badly placed role.
Wow.
There's a psychologist in it. Oh my gosh, she's going to win awards. It was so powerful.
Can you give me the outline of it without giving me a spoiler?
I can. It centres around a family.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I want to tell you anything.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
I don't think I do. But the bottom line is, I think this series should be, what's the word?
On the curriculum almost.
Yes, because every teenage boy should watch that and realise the consequences of actions and this is the interesting thing. This is where Robert and I had just sat and talked about it afterwards. And if that's
interesting.
The effect that it has, and it makes kids talk about it, it makes parents talk about it.
So it's the idea of toxic masculinity and the effect it has on young men, is that right?
Yes, but is it a problem with the parents?
Yeah.
Is it a problem with social media? Is
Yeah.
it a problem with the school?
Yeah.
Is it a problem with, where they live? All of these.
So who's owning it and who?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's not to say they're pointing the finger at one of these particular parties. But
Yeah.
the point is we all have to take responsibility.
Absolutely.
And I think sometimes parents shelve that responsibility to the school. Schools say, well, there's nothing we can do. Our hands are tied because of the fact that,
Yeah.
we're not allowed to do this, this and this. It is a ridiculous situation.
When you and Rob were discussing it, I'm just interested because you very often come at things from very different
Yeah.
angles. Did you agree on where the sort of hotbed issues lie, or were you did you have different
Do you
views?
know, as I've said to you before, you've seen it firsthand. Robert is a very heart on his sleeve,
Yeah, very much so.
emotional
Yeah.
type person. And
That's why we love him.
At one point, literally, his bottom lip was going, and I thought, that's how powerful it is.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "Oh my God, does this mean as parents
Yeah.
that we can make the difference between a child that may commit a terrible thing
Yeah.
and a child that doesn't?"
Do you know, it's really funny.
It's scary.
Nick, my brother, who is a plumber, 6'3". Nick, the hairy plumber. He said he was watching it. His son is the same age as the character, the young boy.
Oh, is he?
Yes. So Nick's a plumber.
Interesting.
He said we had sort of like a similar house, a similar van, a similar child.
Yes.
He said, and it just he was ripped him to shreds.
Yeah, that's
It ripped him to
exactly-
shreds.
Exactly. I think it would affect anyone watching it. I defy anyone to watch that and walk away and just go.
I think that's why I'm nervous to watch it, actually, because I think I've been in a really sort of poor headspace for the last couple of weeks. I've been feeling, as you know, slightly stressed, slightly overwhelmed by life and everything. And I think if I saw it now, I think it might take me a notch down. I need to almost, you know what I mean, galvanise myself.
I just cannot stop talking about it to people. I want people to watch it now.
That's wonderful.
Immediately.
Yeah.
I think everybody should watch it. Somebody asked me, they've got a 16-year-old boy, and they said, "Do you think it's suitable watching for a 16?" I went, "Yes."
Yeah.
And get his friends round to watch it at the same time.
Yeah.
And whilst you're there, buy them some burgers and have a chat about it afterwards. And I'm sure schools will do this. I'm sure it'll be talked about all the time. I'm hoping for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
You know.
That's wonderful. I mean, I've heard actually, I heard a snippet on the radio when I was driving the other day, and they said that they were actually, I think Keir Starmer had said that he thinks it should be on the curriculum.
Yeah.
He thinks everyone should be watching
I
it.
totally agree.
But this idea of who owns the power to make the change, it's a really interesting one, because when I was growing up, and I'm sure it was the same for you, we had two areas of influence. Our teachers, what they said was law.
Oh, completely.
And our parents, what they said was law. There was no, which is good and bad. You know, it was good in some ways, and you had a boundary and a structure, but also bad in other ways because you could never fight against that system if anything was going wrong, and if you were being mistreated, it was very hard to be heard. And we know, history has taught us that it needs to be different. It's softer, much more sort of a compromise, I think it's fair to say. But now there are so many influences that are beyond that control that it almost feels the responsibility is everybody's, right? It's everybody's. It's every book you write. It's every song you pen. It's every stand-up gig you do. It's every time you chat to your offspring, who the people you're babysitting for. It's your cousins. We all need to be collectively responsible for the welfare and the mental well-being of our youth. We all do.
We all should be. I think the trouble is now, and this is very much what this programme was saying, is of course when we were younger, we literally used to have breakfast on a weekend, and then it'd be bye, and we'd go off into the garden, or we'd go down the road to the park.
Yeah.
We'd literally come back at lunch for a sandwich, go back out again, and we were called back when it was getting dark.
Yeah.
We had a great time. Our parents didn't really know what we were doing.
No.
Now, is that different to social media? Now they're all sitting in their bedrooms,
Yeah.
and the parents are saying, well, I just thought he was doing his homework.
Yeah, it sounds very isolating, actually. It sounds awful when you say it like that.
But they don't go, it's not like they do it together.
No, but in the same way that I think it's almost she's flamingoing again. I think it's almost, no, you can flamingo away, darling. I think it's almost a fundamental thing where we kind of I always assumed that my kids would have a life like mine, not necessarily materially or environmentally, but they'd have my views, they'd feel how I felt, they'd like what I liked. You kind of do, don't you?
You do.
Because the influences I had were my grandparents and my teachers and my mum and dad and my siblings.
It used to be how you voted as well.
Right, very much so. Very, very much so. But now, of course, those influences are global and it's in the palm of their hands.
Yeah.
And Stevie, my sister-in-law, I know I've already talked about this, but she's spearheading this incredible section of a campaign which is all about denying kids under the age of 14 a smartphone. I said denying, that's the wrong word. It's about encouraging kids up to the age of 14 not to have them because of the damage it can do to them.
Right, I was thinking...
Yeah.
So
no,
she wants kids under 14.
No, she doesn't want them to have smartphones.
Yeah,
and
agree.
the information and the data and the science behind why they shouldn't. Apparently, she's told me to watch, and I think I haven't yet, but I will. There's a documentary done by Emma and Matt Willis.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Did you see that, Pen?
Yeah, fascinating. Absolutely scary, but fascinating. The difference. And in fact, I was only talking about, very similarly today, there are 3 of us in my work team who, my planting team, who have grandchildren. And we were all saying that when they've been on the iPad, these 5, 6, 7-year-olds, you can tell that they've been on an iPad because A, they don't want to get off it.
Yeah.
B, they sort of refuse to connect with you.
Yeah.
It's quite they act differently. And can you imagine that child that is put in front of that iPad all the time? It definitely affects them.
I know Stevie was saying that she, in her peer group there are kids who are given the iPad from sort of when they wake up at 6:30 and their adrenaline is through the roof, their cortisol is all over the place, they are absolutely wired and high on what they've seen, and then they send them to school.
Yeah.
And of course when they crash, then they're exhausted when that all drops, but also they're so stimulated that it must be.
So surely the things that we used to get excited by would be nothing for them.
No,
It
exactly.
would be like
We used to feel absolutely ecstatic if we found a plastic toy in our Cocoa Pops.
oh, things like spirograph.
Hello.
What was that? Etch-a-sketch. Oh my goodness.
I was
that to
brilliant
me-
on Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah, I used to be able to do circles and everything.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I used to do the
That's
same
on
thing every time.
Spirograph.
Oh, Penny, I used to do a garden. On my Etch-a-Sketch, I'd do a line. I'm sure this is very interesting. And then I'd do 4 flowers on either side, and I'd do the petals. That was all I used to do.
Very nice,
And then my brothers would come along, steal it, shake it, and go, hours of work done. Yeah.
But I mean, that to us was impressive. Wasn't
That was a good night out.
Yeah.
An afternoon on the Etch-a-Sketch and a custard cream for your tea. Living the dream.
Right. So that's a good recommendation. Netflix.
Right.
Definitely. Tell me something. I've got a gap now. I need a good book to read.
Oh, so
Because I told you about Whalebone Theatre.
Whalebone Theatre. You were going to bring me a copy.
Yeah, I brought it. It's in there.
That's marvellous.
Yeah.
I shall steal that from you.
I'd be really interested to see what you think.
How do you feel about getting your books back?
Oh, no. Well, I'd quite like to give that to someone else. But, don't worry.
Because I have this thing that if I read it and I love it, I have to keep it close to me.
By the way, the one that you read of mine before was Remarkably Bright Creatures. Have you
Yes, it
finished
was. Yeah. Oh, I gave you that back. You took it back.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh.
Definitely you took it back because you said you'd folded it over and I said, yes, I have.
Ah, there you go.
I loved that.
It was good.
Yes.
It was good.
I would recommend, and I don't know if you've read it, Raising Hair.
Oh, you were going to let me have it.
I was.
You finished it?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Can I borrow that?
You can. Should we do a switch swap?
Yeah, do a swip swap.
A swip
I
swap?
fancy that.
This is like swap shop.
Yes.
Phoning up. I'll give you my copy. Yeah, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Particularly for you. You will love it. It's very much kind of, well, again, I don't want to spoil anything. It's kind of your life in a nutshell and everything that you like.
I really fancy that.
Not the sort of things that she's gone through, but her connection to
Yes.
nature.
I cannot wait.
Absolutely
I'm going to
stunning.
look, and I will let you have it back.
No, you can keep it.
Oh, thank you.
And also, it's just been recommended it's been shortlisted for a women's writing prize. I can't remember which one, but so well deserved. I'm quite sure she's going to win it.
I'm going to ask a controversial question then.
Do.
There are all sorts of women's literature prizes. Why is there not a man's one?
Because we need to fight twice as hard to be heard and seen in this
that
crowded market.
generally?
Yes, and I think it's absolutely right that we highlight on all kinds of diverse contributors to the publishing market, because we need to champion ourselves, we need to champion those who don't have a strong voice.
Give me some facts.
I don't know.
What statistically? I mean, how many less? I mean, so there's obviously a lot more male writers than female.
I think it's changing. I think it used to be, there used to be a lot more men thriller writers, for example, and women thriller writers were quite rare. Classics were always written by men, weren't they? I mean, we had to look back at our curriculum when we were at school, and there was hardly any female writers. You get shoved a bit of Sylvia Plath in the sixth form if you were lucky, but pretty much it was male writers.
But
That's
also
changed.
Didn't they used to give themselves male names?
Yeah, they had to. Virginia Woolf and others particularly, because you wouldn't have got published. It's that simple. So I think it's still right that we're doing that and championing, any voice or minority that needs that little boost. I don't know what the statistics are. I shall find out for you. Numbers. It's a numbers thing. Pen, can you believe it? There we are. The end. I know.
I was just getting all
that as whizzy whiz.
with the collar.
I've got to say, that's been a very funny episode. Well, first half was funny, second half, a bit more serious, wasn't it? But I've loved talking to you today, Pen. And thank you so much for listening. You can, of course, catch up on all previous episodes from wherever you get your podcasts. Do tell your friends, give us a follow, share the love, and send Penny a message.
Yes, please.
At
the Chit Chatters.
At the Chit Chatters. Until next time, take care.
Bye-bye.